Hi, it's Jason Gorber from ThatShelf.com, and we're here to talk about Miles Davis's Kinda Blue again, this time on UHQR vinyl.
Big shelf.
For those of you that are fans of the channel, thanks so much. Please subscribe, please comment, let us know what you think of these videos. Nonetheless, if you look up here, somewhere, we'll have a link to the previous Miles Davis video where I broke down a bunch of other versions that I have, everything from the 5.1 Super Audio CD to the Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM version. But the one that got everybody super excited was the re-release of the 1996, 1997, it's sort of up in the air about what actual year the plates were done, but the Classic Records release. The plates were done by Bernie Grundman. Classic Records was purchased by Analogue Productions / Acoustic Sounds. And from there, we basically are using the metalwork from the 90s on a brand new pressing. It's pressed on a hand operated fine built, very low numbers. The actual the clarity vinyl that they're using is apparently spectacular sound wise. I have one of these sets, previously the Aqualung, which again there's another unboxing video you can look at. But when this was announced, we knew it was going to come out in 45 RPM. I thought, I'll wait or I'll get it locally. This thing sold out, the 33 RPM just sold out like in days. Completely ridiculous, and I caved. What can I say? I realized I had a couple people that I was going to go in with, so I was going to save a little bit on shipping. This way I'll have the 33 RPM version, which I may or may not sell when the 45 comes out. But given how difficult it was to get the 33, I'm not even 100% convinced I'm going to be actually winning the lottery and taking the 45. I expected to sell it extremely quickly. Although, that being said, so many people getting the 33, maybe there's a bunch of people that won't want the 45. Regardless, that's a whole nother conversation to have. I ordered, I want to say, 3 days after it was announced. I could have been 15 minutes in and done it, but as I said, I wanted to support a local retailer if I was going to end up getting it, or maybe I wasn't going to get the 33 at all. And it was so clear that the first batch was never going to go to local. And we weren't even convinced the second one was going to actually make it through. But here we are. So I ordered from the States, cost a small fortune, but as I said, went in with a couple people. So it all sort of worked out. I would much rather be able to go to my local retailers and pick this stuff up, but just the new normal now, especially with audiophile stuff, especially with everybody at home during COVID speculating on anything from baseball cards to NFTs to whatever. People are just looking at this stuff. And this was a 3 per person order. So a lot of people clearly have bought this to actually flip on eBay or Discogs. Whatever is going on in terms of the flipper market, I'm just ecstatic that we're actually getting some of these records treated the way that they frankly deserve to be treated. Now, for those that are unaware why this is a big deal, the Mobile Fidelity is an excellent version of Kinda Blue, and I'll be very interested to see how they actually sort of play out back to back. Regardless, this is a different one. There's a bunch of stuff now that MoFi is doing on 45 and Analogue Productions is doing on 45 that's kind of the same record. A good example of that, I think, was the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, where there's absolutely differences in terms of mastering. Just different choices, different EQs. But they're both using the master tapes. They're both using the same source. Then it's just down to sort of the taste of the mastering engineer and the company that's actually releasing it. But which one is the better one to listen to? Authenticity doesn't even come into it. When it comes to Kinda Blue, it's a weird one. It's a 3-channel recording, which was the basis, obviously, the 5.1 mix that we talked about in the other video. But because it's 3-channel and it's because it's a Kinda Blue master tape, Sony doesn't give it out to anybody anymore. In fact, it was very, very rare when Grumman actually got a chance to use it. But Bernie's reputation is so golden that, he, particularly in the 90s when nobody was giving a damn about most of the stuff, he had access in a way that it will probably never be loaned out again. Which means that the Grumman mix is directly, essentially, a mix down from the 3 to 2 channel done by Grumman. And so it's a unique presentation of this. It's not identical to the original pressing of Kinda Blue, which in and of itself is an entire conversation to have in terms of speed issues with side A. But nonetheless, you have here something that will be pretty different in terms of its source, where it's actually based, than Mobile Fidelity. Mobile Fidelity, if we understand correctly, is a 2-channel mix from the 3-channel that was done both for the Super Audio CD and for subsequent 2-channels. So it's that 2-channel master, and Grumman's is basically a different 2-channel mix down from the 3-channel tapes, which just means for this, one of the greatest one of the greatest records ever made. Feels cinematic. Kind of Blue is definitely cinematic, but one of the greatest albums ever made, one of the greatest recordings, the highest selling jazz recording of it all time. Why not? Why not have a masterpiece and you have a couple different versions of it? I'm totally fine with that. I'm completely lunatic about this record the best times. This really is one of those things that, like, you think it's pretty good and you've heard the opening track so many times. Are you going to get sick of it? No, man. You just hear stuff in these performances the more you listen to it. It's like the closer you look, the better it gets. It's one of those absolute miraculous recordings, frankly. So yeah, thanks to our friends, as I said, at Acoustic Sounds. I'm going to take off the shipping nonsense. You'll see a little bit of my... So they have these nice big solid boxes that they ship this stuff in. And inside this, hypothetically, I really hope that we will have problem-free vinyl. So as I cut into this, carefully, and open it up, we have bubble wrap. One, number 6741. Two, number 6729. And 3, number 6758. So this is a 25,000 copy run on for UHQR. And as you can see from all of this, all these elements, same kind of set, the sort of offset cover version of the cover, UHQR. Now, the wood dowel, which is based on, I think, a 1950s style recording. It's on the many videos that Acoustic Sounds and Analogue Productions put out about where he actually came up with the notion of this. So this is obviously a luxury box, as it were. And one of the nice things about what they do, the one steps I love, the sort of equivalent from Mobile Fidelity. I do love the presentation. The vinyl is also very good. But one of the things that they do is the outside of the box basically replicates, but the inside is just like a single sheet of paper. Whereas this inside, as we'll see, are actual honest to God sort of stout and tip-on jacket, the whole nonsense. So which one should we do? Let's do the lower number, 6729, and see how this actually behaves here. So as I open this up, stupidly try to keep the stickers because I am a lunatic, although apparently I'm not alone in this world. We have here the MoFi, opens up in this nice little case. Inside here we have, as always, Chad Kasem and his signature talking about the UHQR process, their patents for it, and then the sort of who's who of who actually pressed my nonsense. Gary Sahlstrom, the plant manager, who's become a little bit of an internet celebrity now. Chad definitely is there. Tony Blair, quality control supervisor. So I guess we have Tony to blame if there's any problems with this. It's nice of them looking at this, and given some of the challenges that we've had with some of these hand pressings, you just got to worry about this stuff. We have a really nice breakdown of the tech specs of the fine build. Basically, you're learning not only about the record, but also the process of pressing the record itself. about what they actually do. Yes, it's advertising, but why not? It's kind of cool. The original UHQR, which is the original mobile fidelity UHQR, which again we've done videos about, also included something very similar, sort of breaking down the technology so you understood hypothetically that you're paying more, but you're getting more, as it were. We have the Acoustic Sound Series catalog, taunting us there with Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here, which of course, wouldn't that be lovely if they actually took some of the original Dark Side of the Moon elements and actually released a brand new audiophile version on this kind of nonsense. We have a booklet, a really lovely booklet. Leonard Spashlikon, who literally wrote the book on Kind of Blue. It's actually a fantastic book. And so this is sort of excerpted. The 50th anniversary that I showed in the other video, Ashley also did stuff. So Ashley and Robert Palmer, very different Robert Palmer, put this together, and you can see some beautiful photographs. Sony obviously contributing directly and allowing full access to Miles's stuff. And Miles Davis' family obviously is involved with this, of just treating this as a true celebration. And then inside here, we have beautiful jacket, no record inside. So it really is superfluous that here the crack, but nonetheless, there is beautiful reproduction of the original photography. The back is super clear, designed for use in 33 1/3. So there's the Kind of Blue jacket, and inside here, I'm used to there being two, but there's only one, is the QRP record. So we actually have it in its own sort of sleeve case, and inside the QRP rice paper and plastic inner. It's so funny. So MoFi uses almost exactly, I mean, I think they look the same. So I actually don't know who makes these, but whoever they are, pretty smart ideas. That's how it all sort of works out on my collection. And inside here, you can see that they have unbreakable. Non-breakable, that's what it says, but you can see it's the UHQR, which is this sort of almost see-through, sort of milky, very clear. I don't see any particular nonsense on here. I think I have a little bit of spittle from me talking, but it's going to go in the degritter anyway. But yeah, really nice, clean center label, no option, no drama, no obvious non-fill or any of that stuff that I unfortunately got with my last one step. But nonetheless, there we are. Single track, just, I mean, here, I'm holding in my hand a masterpiece. It's as simple as that. We'll see how it plays. I'm really looking forward to listening to it, of course. But yeah, there's our, for those of you that have yet to pick it up, it's sold out, but there are some retailers that will be getting it over the next little while. This really, from everybody who's been talking about it, says this is, if not a definitive version of Kind of Blue, certainly one you want to own. Simple as that. That the actual pressing itself is apparently substantially better than even the classic recordings, which again, they were dealing with vagaries of 1990s pressing plant. Everything should be better with this. This really should be one of those sort of grand statement things that when you're at the top of your game doing a top record, no expenses spared, making sure that it's absolutely the highest quality that it can be. This is what you're looking at with, you know, this little old thing. A couple tunes, a couple great stuff, a couple good players. You know, this Paul Chambers kid, James Cobb, John Coltrane, Bill Evans, Wayne Kelly. You know, and then you know, Cannonball. Not so bad. And that Miles guy, you know, he plays trumpet pretty well. But yeah, there we are. I'm going to give it a listen. I'll let you guys know what I think. But more importantly, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please follow us on social media. Please look at some of our other ridiculous videos when it comes to this crazy hobby. And we'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you next video. All the best. Take care.